Hey everyone, it's Lupine Fiasco here with another FaB gameplay video for you through the Talishar.net client. Today we will be playing against Lexi. She's slated to be big in the upcoming calling, which I will be attending, so I've been seeking them out specifically. Getting back from the calling, expect a wider variety of heroes that I'm playing against, as I will not be gunning for my bad matchups specifically. Still working on intelligent blocking, presenting heavy aggression when it is possible. But overall, breaking points are in the deck. Main board, Command and Conquers come in, Rise from the Ashes come out. It's just a generally low value card for what we're trying to do. We win the die roll and get to put Lexi first. She is coming in with some aggression, so really trying to keep Command and Conquer and a blue here. It's not likely with Lexi coming in hot. Drill shot for 4, likely going to be followed by a 5 or 6 power arrow with an arsenal from Lexi. Good turn from them. Here, the reason we put opposing aggressive decks on the play is so that we can block out, really kill your darlings here. There is nothing that I would draw that is so good that I would just take damage early to keep. I do want to apologize in advance. There's going to be some lag in this video. Both my opponent and I were experiencing a bit of it, so if there's any weird cuts in the video, that is because I am refreshing the client at this point in the video. She's catching up. It's a pretty standard turn here. We can send Rising Resentment, Kadachi, Ravenous Rabble, ending with a Snatch. If we are lucky, Lexi is going to block this Kadachi with Hornet Sting. If we are similarly lucky, this Ravenous Rabble will come in for 4. It does. Great news for us. Getting the Hornet Sting early is nice. This is Lexi's really only disruptive piece of armor, unless they want to give us a tunic. So we get the easy block out here. We'll send a Kadachi just to push a little damage, and then throw a Snatch. We know that we're getting a Blaze Headlong off the top. Definitely a card we do want in our arsenal, so overall this is a good turn cycle for us. You can see the lag starting to kick in here. Coming with our Snatch for 4. If you see, I am just spamming chat with hello. That does seem to be a little more productive than just refreshing my client. We do get a block on the Snatch, which is interesting. Either Lexi has a 3 of a kind, or she's just going to Lexi flip. Arsenal card, looks like that's what she's doing. Playing a Codex, okay. So Lexi has no floating resources, no tunic. She does pick up the drill shot. We'll see what we have in hand here. Oh, come on. All right. So on our side of the table, we have 2 Lava Veins, Blaze Headlong, and a Brand. The only way we would be able to utilize this hand, we can pick something up from our discard, discard a Lava Vein Loyalty, keep Brand, Lava Vein, Blaze Headlong. This lets us pick up Phoenix Flame, and then we can send something else. So, and keeping in mind that we are getting drill shotted, Not the scariest on hit, honestly. We can block with our Furnace, take 2 points of damage, likely lose the Furnace due to the drill shot effect, but that's fine. So we have a few options. We can either, like I said, discard Lava Vein, send 2, 5, 9, 10 damage, and probably pick up a Snatch to send at the end. We could also discard Lava Vein Loyalty, block with Lava Vein and Furnace, send a Command and Conquer at Lexi, and arsenal the Blaze Headlong. Thinking about this turn now, I really don't like this line. I like picking up probably a Snatch. We can wait and see once our discard comes up. Really, the only two cards we're looking at here are Snatch and Command and Conquer, and our line is very different based on which one we take. It's either going to be block the drill shot, Command and Conquer for 5, arsenal a Blaze Headlong, or send Blaze, Lava Vein, Brand, Lava Vein, Blaze, Phoenix, Snatch. I'm thinking about it now. We are so early in the game. We have plenty of life to give. I like the aggressive play of losing our Furnace, but sending 13 damage, threatening 2 draw effects. Intelligent blocking is key against Lexi, but in order to block out this drill shot, we are over blocking. We're giving 5, sending 5 damage back at Lexi, which again we would threaten 2 cards from their arsenal, leaving Lexi with a 4-card hand, which is fine. But we're taking cards from her anyway. If we send 2, 3, 4, either she blocks the Lava Vein and then also has to block the Snatch, or she has to double block the Blaze. So I disagree with this line now. I understand what I'm thinking in that I want to apply pressure to the Lexi by threatening the arsenal. We're also setting up a 5-card hand to take advantage of Lexi's 4-card hand, likely not presenting a ton of damage. We know at least that their last arrow is a blue infecting shot. They do, however, lose their cards. So I think that was a weaker play from us. Here we get a fused Frost Block, which is absolutely mandatory for us to block, and likely overblock if we can, to play around Art of War or Rain Razors. If this Frost Block hits us, our turn ends. We can do, the most we can do is pitch Breaking Point to attack with Kodachi. So here I'm looking to block with Breaking Point and Lava Burst. That is a clean 6 against any Rain Razor shenanigans. We keep 3 cards in case Lexi does play the Winter's Bite. The power of our turn drops significantly, which again speaks to the power of a previously aggressive turn. If we could have pushed 14 damage instead of 5 and still threaten Lexi's cards. But overall, blocking for 4 here and keeping something, keeping a Lava Burst maybe, is just too risky. We block 6 here. It's unfortunate. Fusing the Frost Block isn't often something Lexi can do, depending on how many Winter Bites they're playing, depending on how many Ice Quakes they're playing. So here we are going to pay. We're just going to come in with Brand for 3. We'll keep our Breaking Point. Lexi with 3 of a kind because she is a balanced hero. Sending in a Sedation Shot, which I've never seen Lexi play. The hero really does feel like they just put any 80 cards in their deck and it works out, but that's neither here nor there. With the inertia, we're just going to send 7. There's no trick here. We are incapable of sending a third link, so we're just sending some damage and hoping that Lexi is kind to us on the back end of this. We see our first Art of War, which is fine. This hand is not good for it, certainly. We do have a Snatch, and our Snapdragon's available. So there is a world where we can send some amount of damage. We have a Lava Burst to block with, which is pretty good. Lava Burst plus Furnace and Shuko can get us out of a tight spot. Lexi starting with Rain Razors is pretty scary. We'll see if she has the 3 of a kind follow-up. Our hand blocks for shit, so the most we can block with is 7, Arsenal and Art of War, and hope that Lexi's next turn isn't so bad, but looks like we're picking up some more lag, so forgive me if I stutter. Lexi using Tunic to load Voltaire, which is interesting. We can kind of assume that Lexi's hand is garbage. I'm guessing this is her only non-red. If she's using Tunic to load as opposed to... so she has the Art of War. Here, looking at what is a pretty good turn for her. This is going to be Endless Arrow for 6, followed up by Infecting Shot for 7. Arsenaling the Endless Arrow, so we are looking at taking 15 damage here and going to 12. Endless Arrow coming in for 6. Like I had said, we have the option to block 6 here. I do like that we're taking it. We prevent 6 damage. We deny Lexi a 5-card hand coming off the back of what is a pretty scary turn from her. This Infecting Shot will put us to 19. But with a Snatch and a Blaze Headlong, even if Lexi did want to give us Tunic and a card to stop the Snatch damage and draw effect, we get to set up an Art of War. Lexi, unless she draws another 3 of a kind, can't do a ton with a 3-card hand. The most she can really send is probably 10 damage off of Bolt and Shot, Go Again, 1-cost Arrow. Give the stutter, we see the Infecting Shot come down. Puts us to 20, we're looking at 18. At the end of our turn, we will likely not be paying for this Blood Rot. Send the Snatch. See if Lexi decides to give us Tunic. She does, so she'll be playing with a 3-card hand, which is good for us. Also good because despite life totals being what they are, there is definitely a chance that Lexi could... this game could go 3 turns, so Lexi could see another Tunic activation. We're happy to get Tunic just for the sake of getting armor away from her, but the secondary benefit of not having Tunic. Lexi sending Searing Shot for 4+1. We're not going to address this. We'll see what she has on the back end of it. Codex is pretty bad. We did not anticipate the Codex in doing our mental math. So Lexi picking up Remorseless is a bit horrifying. We're already at 13. This would put us to 8 plus any damage that we take from our turn. The thing is, we have a breaking point, and we need this breaking point because we need to threaten Lexi's arsenal. She's going to have 4 cards in hand, 1 card in the arsenal from the ponder. We need to apply pressure in some way. So we need this breaking point. We also need something that starts our chain. Anything with go again is going to help, so we need this brand with Cinderclaw. Which means we need to keep our blue to pay for Art of War and Breaking Point. We need our brand with Cinderclaw, so we can't banish that either. Which means that we need to keep this Enlightened Strike to banish to the Art of War to try to put something together. Lexi's also at a high enough life total that we need a tempo advantage from Mask of Momentum. And all of this is to say, if we want to win this game, we cannot afford to block this Remorseless. So we're going to keep the Enlightened Strike and the Mask of Momentum, and we're going to just go to 8 and hope that we are able to threaten Lexi without killing ourselves. Also, unfortunately, due to this frailty, we don't get the benefit of Kodachi's not being affected by Remorseless. So this is really worst case scenario for us. Any other arrow would have been fine. Any 1-cost arrow would have been fine. Even just Remorseless from hand would have been better than this. This is as bad as it could possibly be for us. Banishing our Enlightened Strike, we pick up a Double Strike, which is good for triggering Mask, good for pushing damage, but is still 2 damage from Remorseless instead of 1. We really would have liked to see a head jab here, but we're going to make the most of a bad situation. We can send Brand first, follow it with Double Strike, follow that with Lava Vein Loyalty. Threatening the Mask trigger, unless Lexi wants to give us cards. We then get to Double Strike again, pick up a Phoenix Flame, and follow with Breaking Point. Overall, taking a lot of damage to do all this. That's 7 damage, or 7 actions, I believe. Double Strike does unfortunately count for 1. Here, I believe we're caught. Yeah, we're caught by the lag, so we're trying to undo, remembering now. Kodachi's attack for 0, and we don't want to break our chain. So we'll send our Double Strike to give it Draconic. That'll let us pick up our Phoenix Flame. Even despite Remorseless and being lower on life, we get to send 2 damage at the cost of 1 damage. And that will be another threat of a Mask trigger. So we do what we have to, unfortunately. I believe looking at our opponent's graveyard is us feeling rather sorry for ourselves. This game feeling very difficult and saying how many of our power cards did our opponent draw. As much as I say, win or lose, the important part is good play. I still fall prey to the frustration of being at a disadvantage against Lexi. Lexi blocking with Arctic Incarceration here is still pretty okay for us. It does cleanly block the Double Strike, but we're going to be sending a lot of damage back at Lexi and threatening her arsenal, so denying her the easy 1-card play of Arctic to shut down our turn. It's pretty powerful here. Sending the Lava Vein, which is correct. I would have been a little confused if we had sent the Double Strike first. Potentially baiting Lexi into what would be an easy block if she just wanted to mitigate damage. Here we're in an interesting position just based on our life totals. We could send Breaking Point for 6, which has a much higher chance of drawing a card, but is going to be cleanly blocked by 2 cards from Lexi's hand and lets her either set up the 6-card hand for her next turn or just hit us with some 1-cost arrow. Instead, we are going to trade the point of life to send the Phoenix Flame. We want to bait a block from Lexi here so that blocking the Breaking Point either leaves her with 1 card in arsenal and no follow-up play, or gets her arsenal, puts her in, if not Kodachi lock, very close to it, and leaves her with a 2-card hand. So Lexi does take the bait, blocks the Phoenix Flame, and we get to finish with Breaking Point for 6. There's also a chance, based on whatever's in Lexi's hand, that she might not even be able to block this for 6. Lexi choosing to do a little damage mitigation, takes 3, does lose the arsenal, so we'll see what she puts together here. Codex of Inertia puts an Enlightened Strike in our arsenal, gives us inertia, and now we have to deal with whatever this is. If this is something like Codex of Frailty, we are dealing with, at worst, 4 damage. Same with any 0-cost arrow. This could be the worst, would be Searing Shot, because we cannot just block 3. We would need to block 4. But the worst this can be is a 0-cost arrow, and the best it can be is anything that costs 1. So we have to discard, and I've thought a lot about this turn because I misplayed it. We need to think about Lexi is currently at 8 life and would have 12 cards in hand, or 12 potential block in hand. So we can't kill her this turn, but we need to play for what is our best line considering this inertia. We need to play this Enlightened Strike. So our highest damage line off of 4 cards that keeps a Phoenix Flame in our discard is to Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 1, Enlightened Strike for 5 with Go Again, Lava Burst for 5. There's a 12 damage turn. That is the most we can do from 4 cards. So let's think about what do we need to give, what can we give up to make that turn happen? Either of these blues. Because then we keep a blue, we can still send double Kodachi. What is our next highest damage hand with 3 cards if we need to block this? We would get a card from hand and a Mask of Momentum to stop the damage. Our then highest damage turn is 9 because we can send Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 1, E-Strike for 7. We could also send E-Strike for 5, Blaze Headlong for 4. So we should discard a blue here. If we then need to block this, we block with Lava Burst and Mask of Momentum. What you're going to see me do is discard the Lava Burst, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking. My thought was, I do remember now that I said it, my thought was, if I need to block and I'm on a 3-card hand, I want to send 9, so I want to keep this Enlightened Strike and this Blaze Headlong, because in my head, I was already thinking, E-Strike is 5, Go Again. The problem with that is, if I don't think of it like E-Strike is 5, Go Again, E-Strike is 7, then I realize I can discard a blue, block with Lava Burst, still do the thing I need to do. This whole turn is predicated on me having a Lava Burst, or having a blue, and then the highest damage follow-up is a Lava Burst rather than a Blaze Headlong. So I should discard a blue here, block with the Lava Burst if I need to, but instead I'm going to discard the Lava Burst and keep a blue, which then makes this turn a little more complicated. Well, not so much complicated. It lowers the overall damage because we can still send Kodachi for 1, E-Strike for 5, finisher. It's just that now our finisher deals 4 damage instead of 5. Lexi flips an Art of War so that she can put the Ponder in Arsenal, and now we realize that we are punished really for misplaying, for improperly keeping, or for keeping the wrong 4 cards. We only get to send 11 damage at Lexi this turn instead of 12, which means that Lexi has a little more flexibility in how she blocks. But our line stays the same. I'm thinking if there's a slightly higher damage line, if we don't keep our Phoenix Flame, we can send Brand for 1, Kodachi for 1, Kodachi for 1, E-Strike for 5, go again, picking up and then bottoming our Phoenix Flame, and then sending Blaze for 4. That is 1 damage more. We get to send 12. Again, could have been 13. But we lose our Phoenix Flame. Generally a bad idea unless you can win the game on the spot, which we are unable to do with this hand. It puts slightly more pressure on Lexi, but it doesn't kill her. I think I am choosing to take that line here. Again, I don't agree with it. 12 damage or even 13 if we kept the correct cards off of the Codex does not kill Lexi. So we do want to keep our Phoenix Flame to give us the option of recurring it. Lexi chooses not to block, so we just continue sending our Kodachis. Actually giving us a full card to stop this Kodachi is interesting. I think maybe she was playing around Razor Reflex in case we were spiking it. I don't believe that is the correct play. I think if you're anticipating Razor Reflex, you just make me have it, but she has enough cards that she can give it up. So here we see that Lexi gets to cleanly block well, not cleanly, but she blocks a 4 with a 3 going to 1. If this Blaze Headlong was a Lava Burst, Lexi would not be able to keep a card in hand. She would still be able to Lexi flip, play Arctic, but she wouldn't have an arsenal here. It would just be Art of War, and if we are able to go wide enough to strip the hand, we don't have to worry about a 0-cost arrow from Arsenal. If we can strip the hand, we just take Lexi's turn and then win on the crackback. It's going to take me a bit of time to see the line here because I am trying to figure out how to play Command and Conquer. To play something like Mounting Anger plus Command and Conquer would take 7 resources. 1 for Mounting Anger, 2 for Command and Conquer, and 4 Frostbites. So we can't do that. The line I would consider here is Kodachi Command and Conquer. That's 7 resources, also 7 resources, but we can pitch the Mounting Anger to pay for it. The problem with that I correctly realize is that's only 7 damage. Lexi spends 1 card, or it's 7 damage, but this Command and Conquer is not at a breakpoint. It only gets 3 cards from Lexi, and we really need to get 4. And the way we do that is by sending Kadachi Mounting Anger, which is less overall damage. It's 6 instead of 7, but this is now a breakpoint. It's only 4. It's 4 instead of 3, so Lexi has to give us all 4 cards to not be dead. We see that if our Lexi had not conceded and just accepts the turn back to them, we know based on the concession this arrow is nothing we need to worry about. But imagine, or this arsenal is nothing we need to worry about, but imagine if it was. Imagine if it was a 0-cost arrow. We have to block from hand and with Mask Momentum, and now maybe our 3 cards don't come together to strip Lexi's hand in some way. That potential for brick does exist in our deck. So we can see the misplay with the Lava Burst, not thinking about the maximum damage potential of that hand left us in a position where, yeah, maybe we would have had a little more trouble closing this game out. But we're able to pull through. If you've watched my previous Lexi video, you see it's another example of taking the remorseless damage, pushing through, and cracking back with a higher damage, higher threat of mask turn of our own. So hopefully you found this helpful. I'll have more videos coming up. Likely a lot of Icelander, a lot of Lexi. Again, this is what I am preparing for at the Vegas Calling. This is what other people are preparing to play. So they're out on Talishar. But after the calling is over, we'll get back to a variety of heroes. Like, subscribe, comment if you saw any additional misplays. If you want any help with matchups you're having trouble with, just engage. I'm happy to engage with you. You all have great taste in video, and I'd love to chat more about that. So have a good one, and I will see you next time.